Let's talk about something that you use every single day, but probably never actually see. It's the hidden engine that powers our entire modern world, from the phone in your pocket to the future of clean energy. Yeah, we're talking about the semiconductor.
You know that bright future we're all promised? The one with vast solar farms, sleek, quiet electric cars, and powerful AI that's changing everything? Well, that entire vision, it's all built on a single, foundational piece of technology.
But here's the catch, the big paradox. The very technology we're counting on is built on a global supply chain that's not just complex, it's alarmingly fragile. So what happens when that hidden engine starts to sputter and fail?
To really get a handle on the risk here, we've got to go inside. Let's pull back the curtain on the massive global factory that churns out these little technological marvels. So first things first, what even is a semiconductor? The simplest way to think about it is like this. It's the brain and nervous system for pretty much every piece of electronics you own. These tiny components control the flow of electricity and data, making everything from your laptop to the entire electrical grid actually work.
And making one of these things? It's not a sprint, it's an absolute marathon. It all starts with the design, the intricate blueprint. Then comes fabrication, this incredibly precise manufacturing process in ultra-clean factories called fabs. And finally, you have to assemble it, test it, and package it all up so it's ready to go.
Now, get this. Each of those steps, they often happen in a different country. A single tiny chip can bounce across international borders more than 70 times before it's finished. I mean, it's an incredible feat of global logistics for sure, but it also creates a massive, glaring vulnerability right in the middle of the system.
And all that complexity, well, that's the heart of the problem we're facing. It creates a critical bottleneck that threatens to choke off our technological progress.
So while the US is still a powerhouse when it comes to designing chips, its role in actually making them has plummeted. Back in 1995, it made over a quarter of the world's chips. By 2020, that number had crashed to just 10%. That is a monumental shift.
Today, fabrication, which is by far the most expensive and difficult part of the process, is overwhelmingly concentrated in Asia. And that right there creates a structural weak point for the entire world. A single disruption over there can send shockwaves across the globe.
And you know, the bottleneck doesn't just stop at the factories. It goes all the way down to the raw materials. Take gallium. It's absolutely critical for the next generation of high-performance chips, while over 90% of it is produced in China. Or how about graphite? The US has zero domestic production. It's pretty simple. Control the materials and you control the supply.
So on one hand, you have this incredibly tight, fragile supply, and on the other, demand is just going through the roof. We have an absolutely unquenchable thirst for more and more powerful chips. Just look at the clean energy transition. For the world to switch to electric vehicles, the demand for semiconductors just from EVs is projected to skyrocket by 68 times by 2050. Let that sink in. Not double, not triple, 68 times. And it's the exact same story for renewable energy. The demand from wind power is projected to grow 23-fold. These aren't just small upticks. This is a fundamental reshaping of what the world needs. And what's throwing gasoline on this fire? The rise of AI. The hunger for computational power is growing at an exponential rate, with some algorithms doubling their energy use every 2 months. This creates a practically infinite appetite for chips that are faster, better, and more powerful. So what happens when you have a fragile supply and an insatiable demand? Well, semiconductors stop being just another product. They become an arena of global power and control. And this is exactly why governments are getting so involved. As the US Bureau of Industry and Security puts it, controlling this technology is now a pillar of national security. Suddenly, this isn't just about economics anymore. These little chips have become a fundamental tool of strategic power. Okay, so, given this incredibly high-stakes landscape, what's the path forward? How do we re-engineer the future to be a bit more resilient? Well, the strategy isn't just about building more factories. It's about being smarter. This really means 3 things. First, investing in new materials like silicon carbide that can handle the high power needs of EVs and the new electric grid way more efficiently. Second, we have to shift the industry's main goal from just making chips smaller to making them radically more energy efficient. And finally, and this is crucial, investing in people, rebuilding the domestic talent pipeline needed to design and build the next generation of this tech.
Ultimately, we have to reframe how we think about this.
The semiconductor bottleneck isn't just a temporary supply chain problem to be solved. It is the new landscape, the fundamental constraint upon which our entire technological and energy future is going to be built. And the only real question left is, who's going to be the one holding the blueprints?